All right, good morning. Welcome to special session, Monday, July 8th. We have a full quorum present. Carrie, you certify the meeting was properly posted?
Yes, sir.
Please rise for prayer and pledges. James Ray?
Our Father, we seek you this morning and ask for your presence in this courtroom, that you may guide these gentlemen in the direction that they should go for the good of the residents of Walker County. Father, we thank you for their service and for their lives and what they mean to us. Father, thank you for the blessings that you've given Walker County. We pray for all those in the path of this hurricane. Father, may you hold your hands over them and us as well. Father, that we may say it was good to be in your house this morning. Father, we also want to quote 2 Chronicles chapter 15 and verse 7. It says, "Be ye strong, therefore, and let not your hands be weak, for your work shall be rewarded." Father, we thank you for being a God that loves us and notices what all goes on all around us. Father, we thank you for this promise that our works will be rewarded. Not maybe, but will be. Father, we thank you so much for your presence this morning. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Receive no citizens input, no consent agenda. Number one, discuss and take action on order 2024-67, the discretionary exemption for Renee Bakes Auctioneer Company. Any questions on that?
Move for approval.
Second.
Moving seconded, all in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries. Number two, discuss and take action on purchase of 2016 Dodge 4500 HD Fraser ambulance from Renee Bakes Auctioneer.
Y'all talk to these folks about this particular
City of
machine?
Madison? No, we haven't, I haven't been able to make contact with anybody with the city about it. Since we met last week, so, the truck appears solid, it's got low miles on it, I can tell you that it's most likely been sitting. Because of the type of the department that they have up there, when they get X number of miles on their truck and it's not a high number, they put them in reserve status. And it's aged out for them. Kind of just like the Selena truck that we picked up from Ambulance Depot.
So I guess the box will remount.
Oh, yeah.
Is that what we're really looking at?
It's identical to our new truck, so when it does come time to remount that as quickly as we want to, it would serve numerous remounts after that.
Chuck?
It says on the deal that truck's been sitting, I guess, almost a year and a half now. And I don't know.
So bring a price on remounts.
Price on a remount, it really varies depending on how much you want to put into it.
Okay, so no.
No, I don't have the numbers, no.
So are you looking to buy this as just something to remount, or are you looking to buy it as something to put into service now?
When it was brought up by Commissioner Decker last court session, I think the consensus was, because we don't know anything about the truck.
Yeah.
The consensus was, given the price, to buy it with the purpose of remounting it later on, or as quickly as we can.
What are we looking at spending on? Do y'all know?
Until you get it here, I don't know how we can answer.
I'm
that question.
talking about it.
Buying it.
Buying the truck, okay.
I don't know. I'm thinking today we kind of give them an upper number limit. I mean, the box itself has value and you said it has some sort of a electric bed or something inside of it, a hydro lift bed or some kind of whatever kind of bed, whatever it has in it.
Yeah, it's got the power load system, which those from Stryker, depending on how many you buy at one time, can be anywhere from $50,000. The box itself, I mean, those are usually around 200,000. I've seen trucks similar to this, you go on the used market, in perfect working order or close to perfect working order for about $70,000 with the power load system. Now, this one, this mechanical status, I can't speak to. Again, I don't know anything about this truck other than the pictures that were sent to me. So it's kind of up in the air. I mean, I'm confident that the box would be worth it, the chassis, can't speak to that.
So how many of them, talking about maybe buying this to remount it, how many ambulances do we have that are running right now? Out of the 11 that we have or 10 that we have?
Well, I sent, some spreadsheets to Ally that shows all of that, or I have it on a drive if you wanna pull it up.
I printed it off.
So the green trucks are the ones that are currently on the street right now.
Oh. 4.
Could be 5, well, one of them is down in New Waverly, it's the yellow one. Cause the highlighted trucks in yellow, those are the trucks that belong to ESD2. So we do have one down there at 3304 station. The red ones are out of service.
What's the plan with the red ones?
What we calling red? Oh, never mind, the red highlighted. Yeah.
So unit 794 and 788 have been taken off of that list per the state so that we could add the 2 new trucks without having to pay thousands of dollars to add 2 trucks to our list with the state. So those trucks, I think Mark could speak to it better than me, are the worst trucks in our fleet.
Yeah, last Monday when we met, those are the ones that had the highest cost of operations per mile, maintenance cost per mile. One of them needs a new transmission and a new DPF system, which I'm not gonna share my opinions on the DPF systems. And then, the other one is the one that has recurrent electrical issues that are very expensive to track down. It's got a weird battery system that was built into it as a demo truck, and it's given us problems since day one.
That was that Dodge truck. Yeah, I remember when we bought that thing, John brought it up here and
We probably 2 years ago put about $26,000 into that truck and it did
I
not.
ran it for a little while and it started having more recurrent issues.
like the 2 new ones that y'all just bought, I mean, have we got them in service?
Yes, sir.
They're the first 2.
Yeah, Wednesday, the 3rd.
So
They're
7,
running.
sorry.
They're running fine, everything's good with them so far.
I mean, yeah, one of them's throwing a recurrent check engine light, and it's not really a big concern, but it's something that we're gonna want to get looked at regardless, but it's no, as far as we can tell, major mechanical issue. Could have an injector starting to go out. The other one has been fine so far.
Okay,
794, and what did you take off?
780.
I believe it's a 2013 F350.
so how many ambulances total that you, if everything was working in order? Not counting the 2 you just did decommission, but how many do y'all have that would be on this, I mean, available?
P9
9?
And you have how many running right now?
right now. I need to look at the list. Which we-
5's running?
Is that counting the 2 New Waverly trucks?
Yes, sir.
So we have 3 of ours running.
Well, if you include the used trucks that we just put on the street last week, there's 2 more, so let me run through the list in my head. So 80 trucks on the street. 80, 90.
Yeah, the list in your hand.
Yeah, do you mind if I take?
Yeah, come get it.
You can
Yeah.
have us one. Ain't gonna look at that other stuff anyway,
That
too
small, you
little.
can hardly read it, didn't
It shows that we have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6. 4 of ours, 2 New Waverly's. 6 of the 9.
Yeah. Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
6.
And then we got how many new ones actually coming in? Y'all said in December?
Have 2 coming in December and then hopefully 1 next summer. That's most recent update from Fraser.
So the 2, that's the ARP funds, basically, that we ordered, what, 2 years ago?
And you hope they're coming in December?
We got a recent update last week. We called our salesman and he gave us a timeline of December for these, which
So
was
those
identical to the timeline that he gave us about 4 months ago.
And then the other one, that's
The following August.
the following August.
That's from
That's from the budgeted.
just current year budget.
Yeah,
Yeah, the one that we got approved for back in, October this year.
Sound like we got some.
so four. So that's gonna be 5 brand new ones. Not counting the one that we hydrolocked or whatever you're gonna call it, right?
It'll be 4.
3,
Because we have
4,
the 2 coming in December, the one in August, plus the one that got hydrolyzed.
4 brand new ones.
Mhm.
You can't call the one.
Well, 3 brand new ones and one that flooded out. And then we got,
Ford on that truck, they have received the engine already.
Yeah.
And they've already started working on it.
yeah, we wrote them a letter to advance it.
Okay.
And then we bought 2 the other day. So that's 6.
You can't consider them new though.
No, I'm just calculating. And then the Waverly carries 2. So I asked Chris to bring us a price today on the remount cost and the truck. And we didn't get that.
I don't think you said today. You said, can you get us the prices? You didn't say have it by next Monday.
Well, that's good, but I talked to Chris and I told him to have it to court for us.
He's currently up in the EOC right now. He's been there all night. He got called in for the,
Yeah, I get it. That's why we talked to him last week about it. So we kind of have a price on what it's gonna cost to remount this thing. If the truck isn't any good.
$200,000 at a minimum.
To remount?
Do you factor in a chassis and everything else? Because we're looking at a brand new box that's well over 300,000. Well over this point.
That chassis is gonna cost you 70 plus.
Yeah.
we're, and the way we've been operating is we've been getting the chassis through Fraser. I think moving forward, it'd be more cost effective for us to source our chassis, utilize our purchasing department to help us get chassis at a better price, which obviously doesn't make a huge difference over the cost of something that's large. He thinks better.
Sure. Yeah. I think what I would like to throw out there for discussion would be for us to give them a number to stay under of say, or maybe it's less than 50,000, maybe that's the number. And we could give that to them today, but then Mark and Cheryl and Rachel, whoever can contact Addison or go to Addison or something. It doesn't close until
Today at noon. Or tomorrow at
Closes
noon.
tomorrow.
Okay.
but contact them and see what they've got. And then, I mean, the box and the system that comes with it is probably worth that price. It's probably worth 50,000. If it runs a little, it would be nice to have a backup because, 4 years ago, we started trying to buy a new ambulance a year, but we only received one in the last 4 years, just one new one, and that's the one that broke down, when it got flooded out. So we're still limping along with all these other ones that are 200,000 miles plus or minus, and that's not going to change. We know for 7 more months. So, or 6 more months, probably 7, by the time we get it upfitted when it gets back. So that's my thought, would be to give them the authority to spend up to $50,000, but to contact the city of Addison and discuss it with them. And if you think it's a value between those 3, make the purchase. And if not, pass on it and we'll find another one.
Where would the money come from, Patricia?
We could come from it, EMS general, contingency and transferring money around in EMS.
So you've got 6 running right now. You've got 9 that's in your fleet. We're waiting on 2. We got another one coming. So there's no intent on fixing the 2 that's got the transmission problems?
So one of the trucks that has a transmission issue, and it's 792 on the list. That one would be viable if we put a transmission in it, I believe, but it's just an extra cost.
Okay, but what you've got right now. You've got a running truck. What I'm getting at is, we go buy a dang box, whatever you have to pay for this, spend $30,000-$40,000. And you already know that you're gonna have to remount it, if the truck's not right. you've got a truck that you know enough about to know that the only thing that's wrong with it this time is it needs a $4,000 transmission. Why would you not put the money into that versus going and looking at something you have no clue about? I'm throwing this out there because,
How long has that one been sitting with no transmission?
It's been sitting since the 25th.
yeah, this just happened the other day. Yeah. So I would much rather spend the money on working on one of these when, of course, I can't read it to see how many dang miles.
If you're looking at 792, it's got 178,539 miles as of the 24th of last month.
And what was the other one? The other one that had a bad transmission in it?
Yeah, that truck has 257,603.
What's the boxes like? Would you do, I mean, so if you put a transmission in, it makes it another 6 months, 8 months, a year. And you're down to 4 or 5,000, well, I mean, by the time you pay labor on it, you're gonna be, just say 10.
You're gonna be at least 10. on
You're gonna be
transmission.
10. And it makes it till December, maybe even next August. I mean, I don't know nothing about this truck up here. It's been parked for a year and a half. I understand. The box may be worth it, but you're having a box with nothing, you still can't put
It's
it in
not
service. You know? I would much rather see it spent on the money we've got,
I think that's
what we
valid.
got in-house.
That's a valid point. Absolutely, it's a valid point.
No, I agree. And the main point of contention with this truck that's up in Addison is it was brought up in court on
Yeah.
Monday. And I don't want to miss an opportunity to
Yeah.
make the situation better.
And I'm not saying it's a bad deal, don't get me wrong, but it's, you know, going into it, it also needs work too, for what you know. You know, it's got 60, 65, 6,700 hours on it. I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
Even though it's low mileage, it's been running,
Got hours,
you know,
yeah.
it's got hours, so.
So the boxes are good on the ones he's talking about? I mean, the boxes are okay. You would remount those boxes?
On the Addison truck?
On the two trucks he
On
just
the
talked to
two.
you about?
It's
Are
got-
they remountable
It's
boxes?
got almost 12,000 hours on it. 11,700 hours in that truck.
And that's what I was gonna bring up. It is a Frazier. It's basically this, I'm gonna say it's exactly the same. but
Yeah.
it's A Frazier that can be remounted where they don't want to remount these other ones or can't. I don't know.
Yeah, the box that's currently on 792 has already been remounted at least once. And it's got some issues with
Yeah.
the mounting on that box. I've seen that firsthand, so.
Okay, that's what I was
Safe to
curious.
Operate, but it wouldn't make it another remount.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know if this truck, you could put it in service, you know, pretty quick, it would be worth taking a chance on. You know, but you know nothing about it. I mean, if you went and looked at it, it'd be one thing, you know, but I don't know. It's been parked for a while and that bothered me.
Yeah, and I don't have a problem leaning what he's saying doing either, because you do know those trucks. You know, if you can get a transmission in them pretty quickly through, what are they, Fords, Dodges, what are they?
That one's a
Ram.
rant, Dodge.
Well,
A local shop that has given us a quote, they said they could have it turned around in like 72 hours,
Okay.
what's the quote on that?
about 8,000.
I'd lean to that to get one up in service pretty quick.
You want to put transmission, get anything out of it if you sell it.
Yes, not you.
I just don't know why we didn't do that already.
Sorry?
Why didn't we already get it fixed when it broke down?
Well, I mean, given the mileage and how expensive that truck is to maintain, it is. Yes, to get the truck on the road, it's a good idea to get it repaired, but it's fiscally irresponsible in my opinion. Based off all the data that I've been trending.
But if they get us to the new trucks coming in
Yeah.
December.
Yeah.
The investment of $8,000 to $10,000 to push us that far.
Well, and the point I'm getting at, you're down to 6 trucks,
Yeah.
you've got 5 crews, right? And at any point in time, one of these goes down.
There you go.
You know, and,
That's what I think. I've been going about the truck we're talking about today.
well, and the truck that was the demo, that thing has had a hang in it ever since we got it, and I understand that. And I know y'all dumped a lot of money into it, but when it comes to the point that, you know, December is not guaranteed. We get short on these older trucks. And, accidents happen with the one that got drowned, so, it's got us in a pretty good bind.
Yeah.
The Simmons, I think it was Simmons Martin truck. We talked about it, kicked it around for what, a year and a half now? And if we wasn't gonna fix it, we should have got rid of it, or at least fixed it to where we had somewhat of a spare, even though it may not be very dependable. I don't know that I'd want to go spend another $30,000 on it. And if that's the case, then get rid of it, get it off the list.
And that was my decision
Yeah.
not to spend
Yeah.
that extra.
No, and I get it. And then, it was a smart decision. But just leaving it on this list, is not doing us any good either. 'Cause we look and we talk to y'all and you say, well, we got 12 trucks, but if 6 of them are working trucks or 8 of them or whatever, it doesn't leave you a lot of room with the many miles as these trucks got on. I don't either, but y'all, I think that was even brought up last time.
Grade 4, 5, 6, 7.
I guess maybe that was counting everything.
Yeah, that's
11,
counting the 2
12.
used trucks.
Yeah.
And, technically a training, it's not patient care ambulance.
Yeah, there's 12 on the list y'all sent us.
So anyhow,
You think we just tell them, go spend 8 or 10 to get that one running? I'm not.
that would be me. At least you know what you got.
I got no
This
problem with
truck
that.
was running 2 weeks ago,
Yeah, I got.
Yeah, I'd say get that one back in service.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Okay.
with the not getting that truck repaired first off the bat, obviously we all have budgets we work with. My maintenance budget is tapped right now. I didn't think I had the authority at the time to go ahead and authorize that repair.
And I've been out for 2 weeks with the brother's passing, so.
well, we need to do something and this gets us
Let's
where
do
we
it.
need to be.
I think you got the authority to fix an ambulance if we are short on ambulances.
Well, and certainly the authority to come. forward.
Right.
Many meetings since that.
Yeah.
Task.
All right, so we'll give them the direction to go put the transmission in the direction.
We're gonna at least look at lowballing this. We give him direction on that one ambulance. Another Fraser to be able to remount, that would get rid of all this stuff. Having, even if we just remount it,
Buying it for the box.
buying it for the box. And if by chance it's running and in good shape, we put it in the fleet.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it as long as you don't get stupid with it,
What's the number?
Get the fact that we have nowhere to put any more ambulances at this point.
no.
We don't have any more stations, any more bays, any more room, so that's something that we have to think about as well, where we're gonna house.
Move a couple of these broke down ones over to surplus and get them done. Get them gone. We got one set behind the sheriff's department for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
It needs friends. Get rid of this stuff that we're not using, we're not gonna fix. Put it over there. Yeah.
That's part of it is it's a process to get them stripped out.
Yeah.
Getting stuff removed that's usable elsewhere. Why pay for a brand new emergency light?
But we can park it over there and strip it down as we need it. And if our plan is to go to Fraser's and have them remounted, and this one already has the $40,000 load system and a box, and it's gonna be half price once it's remounted, I don't know why we wouldn't put a little number on it.
What's your number, Jeff? Throw one out there.
I'm good for up to 40 or 50,000. We know we're gonna have to spend 40,000 on a load system.
Yeah.
Then you get the box for 10. That's a hell of a deal. I'm gonna say 50.
I'm willing to take a chance on it.
Below 50.
Yeah,
Stay below
49,999.
50, miss. Sure,
That'd be my motion.
not a penny over.
Yeah, I'll second it. Yeah, I'll second the motion with what kind of the direction we mentioned before, to all of them and find out.
And the funds coming from.
EMS contingency,
Are we still approved to?
fix the
Yeah.
transmission.
Now, soon as possible.
All right.
And if you don't have that in the budget, it'll come from contingency. Yeah. Okay, I got a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carries. All right, we'll go into executive you have the option to go in executive session or in public hearing for a review of EMS. Your pick.
Well, I'm gonna say that I don't know that we need to be in executive session with just a review.
Yeah, I think I.
I honestly we don't have our legal counsel sitting here with us.
He's
but-
online.
You out there, Clinton?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Just a review to me probably should be an open court, but you are the legal man, so what is your opinion?
Well, you have the option of an executive session if you're going to do a personnel review. But then if you're going to do a personnel review, then the employee gets to decide whether it's open or closed. But there's
What
no,
we're doing, or we're just reviewing?
Everything at
EMS.
EMS, just like we done all the other departments. With Dan and Larry, and
I think
they
we're-
all went into executive.
I think we're in open, because we're talking about just a departmental review.
Mhm.
We can just do it here in open. There's nothing.
All right, EMS review. Update on department, Rachel.
I think they did a pretty good job at budget presentation on the first, however, I wasn't here. I didn't know we were being reviewed until I got the email on Friday. So, I didn't know that this was happening. Nobody's talked to me about it, so I made that, put that out in the open that I was not made aware that.
Yeah, you've been away with a family emergency, is that correct? Okay. Yeah, and I'm sorry for that, but I just want to point that out too, so.
So, I wasn't aware that we were having a review until Friday at about 10 PM. I got back in town. So I think everybody's pretty much up to speed on the truck issue. The things we asked for at budget or the things we're needed for our department. Call volume, I mean, it's steadily increasing. Our crews are tired. We had 3 employees leave to other agencies for better schedule and better money. So we are down those employees. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure what exactly you guys are wanting because I didn't have any advance notice to prepare for this, so. I don't know what you're looking for.
Just an overall department review. Did we fire anybody since we met last time?
One person, yes, actually 2. I fired 2 employees since the end of April. And then 3 have left for better pay and better hours. One that was fired, well, she was actually given the option to resign, and she resigned due to a major state violation. There's no way around it. It was very disappointing. But she probably would have lost her license with the state anyways. So she no longer works here. The other could not comply or come to a decision with court ordered things. And so I let her go because she was a hindrance to our operations. So those are the only 2 that I've let go.
And that's been very recent, or?
One was the end of April, and then the other one, that was the state violation, that was probably mid-May, mid to end of May, not the beginning of June. I'd have to go back and look. It's been on for a few weeks now.
And we got 2.
Can you say in open court what the state violation was or not?
Um,
Since we're not putting a name with it.
So basically, they were en route to an emergency call, lights and sirens, and she decided to stop at her house to check her mail on the way. Absolutely
Totally unacceptable.
unacceptable in my department and unacceptable with the state, so.
Did we write was she with somebody, crew member?
Yes, her partner, who is not the in charge, she has been placed on pretty significant probation write-up. He has been punished as well. He had some time off without pay as well.
Yeah, can't put up with that.
I think the other day they said that we were 5 paramedics short, correct?
Not 5.
5
We're
people.
down. We're down 5 employees. One was the EMT. I would have to look.
And we just hired.
Yeah, we just had a hiring process, so we just filled all those holes.
We'll just take some time. to
So
get
yeah,
them trained.
we're 5 spots. We can run BLS or ALS, so 5 spots. And I think the way we're set up with the majority of our positions, we can hire for either one.
Are you still getting plenty of applicants when y'all put out like for a job?
Yeah, paramedic, no, because everywhere else is paying about $6 more an hour than we are.
Yikes.
With better schedules, because everywhere in our area runs 4 shifts. We run 3, so the scheduling is better when you have 4 shifts.
When you feel though, when you get those up, 5 positions up operational, is the overtime gonna go down?
I would imagine it would.
I spent a lot of money on overtime.
We may spend a lot in overtime, but in the 911 system, we just fund
This
it.
is part of it.
I know, I get
Just
it.
fund it. Because when I call 911, I want somebody to respond.
Yeah, well, I get calls that were not, so.
Yeah.
How many
So,
times
time
do
out.
we not?
You just made a statement.
And I'm fixing to address it.
Address it then. Go ahead. Because that was a pretty bold statement.
If
to
you
say.
would let me talk, Bill. How many times have we ran where we didn't have 5 ambulances crews on the streets?
If we are down a truck, our district will move onto the ambulance and run out of an ambulance to make sure they're staffed. And the times, I think recently where we've been down due to maintenance issues, we'll staff a squad. We've done that pretty recently where we'll have a crew or a medic run out of one of our reserve SUVs and respond to calls so that all of the calls are being responded to in a timely and appropriate manner. For Dr. Kovar's guidelines, our guidelines, there hasn't been a delay or anybody not receiving care. If that has happened, I'm not aware of it.
I got calls that Huntsville was running heart attack victims to the hospital in their F-150s on 2 different occasions. I got a call last week that Tahoe showed up to another stroke victim and they told them to put them in their vehicle. It'd be faster, and then 25 minutes later, the ambulance showed up and they were in Elkins. I got other calls that saying we only had 2 ambulances running at one time with Tahoe's running squads to cover the other shifts.
It's news to me.
I haven't heard about it
Yeah.
either. We don't have enough auxiliary SUVs to have 3
Multiple
crews
squads
covered.
running.
So when you got the calls, why didn't you call her? When you get the call and said, hey, so-and-so just happened, why didn't you pick the phone up and call her instead of doing it right here? That's the time to address all that stuff you just said. When they call you and say, this happened, let me make a phone call. I'll get right back to you. Rachel, what happened? Da, 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 da. Confirm it's right or it's wrong. Call the person back versus sit up here and do an ambush. List 3 or 4 or 5 things that you have not spoken to them about and that they don't have no idea.
I don't see it as ambush.
It's just an ambush.
We've been asking for updates every month.
That's not an update. You asked them for something and then.
Did you get an update that we fired somebody for going to get
I
their
wasn't
mail?
aware that I to provide that because the court has never made it clear.
We talked
what
the other,
exactly you would like me to send you.
we asked you the last time we were here to start making monthly updates to us. Toman told me that he called and told you about this. You sent me an email this morning saying you didn't know about it till this morning. So we can ambush whoever we want to.
Well,
Well, the updates were supposed to be done monthly.
Yeah,
I mean, that was discussed.
But what do you want on those updates? I mean.
Whatever you think we should know.
I mean, if we don't have ambulances up and running, I would like to know, hey, we're out of budget. We need $88,000 to fix an ambulance so we can make calls. That'd be one update. If we're firing people, give us updates so we don't hear about it on the street. That'd help too. We're getting ambushed by people telling us this stuff.
we don't get notified by any other department that they're firing people in the county. We have 400 employees and not a single department tells us that they're hiring and firing people.
I get emails that everybody does. I get emails from Carrie that's saying that they're retiring and she's hiring people.
We get-
Well, retirement.
I get them from Larry. I get them from Larry saying, hey, let y'all know, we're firing people. We're hired this guy.
I don't get any.
I get them from
Firing, I've never emailed.
I get them from Dan. This guy's leaving. We're trying to hire.
Nobody, we don't, none of us gets that information. I don't care. That's why she's what she is. She's the director and that's why department heads are department heads. And we give them benchmarks to hit. If they hit those performance benchmarks, then by running their show with their policies and procedures, then I stay out of their business. I don't care if she hired somebody or fired somebody. I could care less or could not care less about that. If she's staffed, if she's answering the calls, and when she runs somebody off, we don't end up losing a court case because of it, which we have not, then she's doing her job.
I have a problem when we have to fire somebody going to a call and we've not updated.
Why would you do that? Does the sheriff call you when he fires somebody? No, nobody notifies.
Did the sheriff go and say, oh, well, we gotta, somebody go and check their mail on the way to a shooting? We ain't had it.
You don't know that because he didn't tell you.
Okay.
You have no idea because he's minding his own business. It's his shop. It's her shop. It's Dan's shop. It's
Dan works for us.
Dan works for us, but we have not, I've never asked Dan,
I understand
let me
that.
know when you fire somebody, because I could care less.
I
Could not
understand
care
that,
less.
but sheriff is an elected official, you're an elected official, we all have our own stuff. There are certain departments that work for Commissioner's Court,
Mhm.
maintenance, IT,
And
EMS.
no, damn, well, tell me when they fired anybody.
Exactly right. Not a soul.
So what's your?
Well, I'm not so much worried about the employee part. That is your department as far as I'm concerned. But if we have ambulances that are down, that is my.
Yeah, that we need to know.
And there was an instance, and I'll bring it up. I hadn't had time to get with you, and I'm not trying to ambush you. We can sit down and talk later about it. But I'm listening to the radio and y'all refused to call in the storm before, after the truck drowned. And Huntsville Fire Department got on the radio and specifically stated that the roads were open and y'all were at the station. I would like to sit down and discuss that with you because I know it happened. And,
That's a radio issue though.
no, it's not a radio issue. It was an issue of them, for some reason, refusing to call or
Not
Or-
responding. I
or
don't
putting
know
the
if
call on
refuse is
hold.
not the right word.
Yeah, or putting a call on hold.
Flooding.
Okay.
We worked on a delay, so every call was responded to. I have all of it typed up
Okay.
and is in that too.
Yeah, well, I'd like to sit, I mean, because I know it happened and it sounded bad. Now, it may not have been bad because I hadn't talked to you about your side of the story of it. And hadn't dug into any more of it because I honestly hadn't had time, but I know we were out, the fire department was out, and I heard it on the radio, and it is a concern of mine. And I'm sure there is hopefully a logical explanation for it. So, but it did sound bad when Huntsville has to call and say, hey, the roads are open, you can make your call now, is basically what it amounted to. That's really, as far as I know, the only complaint that I've had here lately. But it's something that's verified because I heard it myself.
Yeah, and I'm gonna talk about my department, 'cause I'm gonna tell you, when it comes to, it's not safe for the people to be there, I pull their ashes in.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
You don't want them to be out there if they're gonna be harmed or hurt or killed or whatever doing their job. There's safety issues we have to deal with. And same thing with them until we hear what they got
And
to
that's
say.
why I'm saying,
You know,
I'm
but,
not throwing punches but
Yeah, and I know
I
you're
would
not,
like, I
but-
would like an answer for it
But-
because it is not something I had to go chase down. It is something I actually heard. It's not hearsay.
And I have told dispatch the same thing on what I just told you. I said, when it gets safe for the people to come out,
Yeah.
I will send them out.
Yeah, right.
But I am not gonna send them out there knowing I'm gonna get them killed. I mean, and I don't expect y'all to either. Or the sheriff or anybody else. I mean, there comes a point you can't move. And I've seen it. Hell, I've had trees fall behind me while I'm
Oh,
cutting
yeah.
one off the road, you know, I
No
mean.
doubt.
So it's dangerous out there. But nevertheless, I mean, I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah,
But you need to hear what they got to
yeah,
say.
it is two sides to every
Yeah.
story and then there's always the truth is somewhere in between.
Yeah, somewhere in the
You
middle.
know, and so it's a work in progress. But, the monthly updates, we started this even back when John was there. And we do pretty good in the beginning and then it falls short. And I know everybody gets busy, but I personally would like to, hear what's going on, once a month and once every other month. I don't know. We discussed it in court. I don't even know what we decided on, if it was once a month or every quarter or whatever. I'd have to go back and find out, but
So let's give them some bullet points rather than just shooting against the wall and hoping that we like what they got. Do we want status of vehicles? That seems like a pretty basic one that everybody wants to know about.
Very important.
That's like probably number one. Status of staff. How are you doing as far as staffing? Maybe call volume on a running, but y'all track that anyway. And, what else would y'all want to see? If that's all that is, then, I mean, I'd rather us tell them what we want to see versus them.
Number of
bringing-
calls made, number of calls missed, I mean, we get it from the fire departments every month and everything. I mean, just updated on emergency, what you do. I mean, even on the volunteer fire departments do it to us every
I'd like to
month.
see, y'all got that ESO, or I don't remember what that program we bought for y'all is. I'd like to see where they're all scattered out. I mean, that's just a simple,
Like a call heat map.
Like a heat map?
yeah. Where are we running?
And if I could just talk real quick on the truck aspect of things, I know it's obviously pretty unideal right now with the trucks being out of service. But the majority of that occurred within a 2-week period. So, and that was between the middle and end of June. And I apologize for not making y'all aware ahead of time. I was in the weeds trying to deal with it all. So I was in emergency mode trying to get these trucks operational as best as I could. And that's why y'all were not made aware of that until the first, because that's when we met last.
But in the same sense, we meet every 2 weeks. You have a week lapse time in there. You know, if you got something broke down where you had to have money out of EMS contingency, then get it on court. You know, maintenance is the biggest part of this. You can't get there if you ain't got something to get there in. And, you know, it's when you can lose 2 trucks within a week. I mean, it doesn't take long to kill your numbers. So,
Yeah.
Anybody got anything else?
What's your relationship like with ESD2 New Waverly and that station operations? How's that go?
It is, we try our best to get along with everybody. Might be a conversation for another time, but we do our best to mitigate any issues we have down there.
Yeah, Rachel, have you ever seen the contract? Okay. I have seen it years ago, but I haven't read it in a long time, but we probably as a court probably need to put it on the agenda and let's look at it.
The contract is real clear, and that's one reason I asked about it. The contract is amazingly clear. ESD2, we bought an ambulance. For $1 a year, we're basically giving that ambulance to Walker County. We're going to build a facility and we're going to let them park it in that facility. That's what it says. The county will try to leave a truck down there as often as it can. But it's up to Walker County where that ambulance goes.
well, it is up to the medical.
Right. It belongs to Walker County to make the call. So it's frustrating to me when we get calls from ESD2 saying, where's our ambulance? How come it's up there in Huntsville? How come it's there? How come it's there? We should hang up on those calls. They call you guys, I'm sure. They may call you. I don't know, but they don't call me. Because I would tell them. Don't call me. Yeah, because I told them sitting in the judge's office, I told 2 members of that ESD board and Commissioner Henry, read the damn contract. It says that ambulance belongs to Walker County to put it where they want it. If they want to park it at Statue, they can park it at Statue. If they want to park it at ESD in Riverside, they can park it there. We are supposed to leave it down there as best we can. If it's away from there, somebody has made that decision to move it away from there. And it's none of ESD2's business why it's not there. None. So when somebody calls.
Okay, well, I'm gonna put you back on track. We're doing EMS and ESD2 ain't even here.
EMS has to deal with that. When they call her and Chris and say, I try to stay out of y'all's business, but if y'all don't fix this, I'm gonna come get in your business. Yeah, that's a problem.
Well,
That's a
not
problem.
tell them to read the contract.
Yeah,
Exactly.
And
y'all-
ain't nobody brought this to court.
A copy of it on my phone.
So we told them, that's because we told them about it before. So it's come to court before, and we told them before, and I told them in a private meeting.
It hasn't been to
before.
court since I've been here or Brandon's been here.
It's been here when we talked about, when we renewed the contract, when it came back up, maybe when they bought the second ambulance. But they don't seem to get it through their head down there that stay off the phone with our EMS people and leave them the hell alone when it comes to managing that ambulance. And then in your office, you mentioned about extra wear and tear and extra maintenance, stuff like that. wanting us to take care of extra maintenance and things because they're using it so much. That's not in the contract either. Contract says they will maintain. Now, it's okay. I would have been open if, after all this comes up, that they had come up and said, hey, you know what? The last month, they put 50,000 miles on that truck, gotta do some maintenance. Would court be interested in participating in the cost? Now it's a team, that's a partnership there. But to call and say, hey, they're gonna put all this stuff on, who's gonna pay for this? We're gonna send them the bills and let them pay for it. That's not a contract either. So
Okay,
I'm stopping right there if you want to say something.
okay. So the bills that were raised, the issue that was raised was not under the one ambulance that's on the contract. It was under the spare that had been out for, the county's been operating for 3 months because we didn't have any trucks running. It run up here and it got put in the busiest spot. No, 02, correct? 01, 02, whatever. And they drove it for 3 months and run it and did not stop it until the brakes pads were slapped into the rotors.
Okay,
Now, that's not, that vehicle was just, ESD said, here's our spare, use it as you need it, which they've always done. When it had been gone for months at a time, because we don't have any ambulances running, and yeah, I think it ought to be fair to put brake pads and rotors and stuff on it.
so how about just asking that then? How about just showing up as a teammate and a partner and saying, hey, guys, y'all did this, can we do that? Versus basically shaking the finger and saying, you better. It's not fair. It's not that, if you wanted that as an option in the contract, you should put it in the contract.
So does this contract cover both ambulances or just the one?
We wrote a separate one, both ambulances have their own agreement, but they're identical.
Now, he's throwing ESD one in the mix now.
ESD two.
We have one contract with ESD two in Walker County.
When we brought the second ambulance on, we either put it under that agreement or we wrote a second one. Not putting our people in that truck without some sort of an agreement. Didn't happen.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I can't remember.
We did
either.
something.
It's probably under the same contract.
Yeah, it's under the same
So,
deal.
I don't remember doing a second one, but that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, because they couldn't just put it there.
It would have been like Bill said, even if we did, it would have been identical.
Been the exact same thing. Exact same thing. So what I'm saying, it's a great deal for New Waverly because they get less than 5% of our calls goes to New Waverly. I think it's quite a bit less than 5% of the calls go to New Waverly, but they have 2 ambulances sitting down there. So it's a great deal for them. So when that ambulance leaves for a little while because we have issues up here, that's just the way it is. They could have 0 down there. They could have them both for weeks at a time down there. So they benefit immensely from this partnership.
So when you're saying there's 2 ambulances down there, there's one that's active,
Mhm.
that comes stages at the statue a lot, comes, runs all over the county.
Mhm.
The other ambulance is sitting there. It's not staffed. It's a spare ambulance.
Well, that's
For when the one goes down, you have another one.
That's fine then, yeah.
And this last problem was, again, all right, the Walker County's ambulances were down.
Mhm.
To loan them the spare ambulance, and it run all over the county.
So how do they loan us something that already
Yeah,
belongs
and
to
who
us?
carries the insurance on these?
We do.
So we're paying insurance on these 2 vehicles.
And we lease
Rest
them.
of the
They're
scrap
out.
sitting down there.
They don't loan it to us. They're our ambulances. That's the part that needs to be understood. They are as much ours as if we had bought them. Because we have a lease with them that whether we give them $1 a year physically or not, I don't know. What I'm saying is, we're on the same boat together. We have 75,000 people here we're trying to take care of. And 2,500 of them live down in there. And I have 26% of the calls go out towards Riverside. There's no ambulance out there. 3 or 4 or 5% go to New Waverly, and there's at least 1.5, maybe 2. So just be a teammate. Like I've made no bones about the fact that I think it's a terrible deal for the county because they hold it over our head regularly. And then it's theirs, and we have to kind of deal with that. So
basically, the ESD owns the machine and we just rent it for $1 a year. Is that what? the
yeah, that's what it
contract
is. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah. Well, we pay the insurance.
We
the
pay-
We
lives.
pay all the insurance.
But in the same sense, I mean, if it was run the heck out of and needed a little maintenance, then okay.
Yeah.
That would have been all right as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely.
If you hadn't used it for a stick to beat with, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, if you'd come up and say, hey, man, y'all do a brake job on it and you put 15,000 miles on it in 3 months or whatever. I'm good with it,
Absolutely,
you know, but to insinuate that I'm supposed to do something is a whole nother deal,
absolutely.
you know? I ain't gonna hold a gun to my head and tell me to do anything. So, but if they want to work together, I'm good with it. you know?
Absolutely.
So how many calls do you get from ESD two on the ambulance?
Probably about 2% of our call.
The griping,
Oh, what do you mean? How many calls do I get on?
what we're arguing about right here.
About the way it's run and operated?
Yes,
A lot,
what's a lot?
several. I've heard of a handful in the past 2 weeks that I've been gone. Before that, I probably got one at least 2 or 3 weeks before that.
Well, the contract, going back to the contract though, you are the medical director. And in the contract, it says that you have the discrepancy to say where that ambulance goes,
Absolutely.
at any point in time. And it's pretty plain and clear. I mean, it is a good contract as far as I'm concerned. It's not a lot of sideways stuff. in it.
Yeah, live in the contract.
Yeah, and, you know, I'm sure you catch, you always will. Previous director did. I mean, that's just part of it, but, and until that's resolved, and the only way to resolve it is to split the partnership. And, I don't think either one of us want to do that. I hope at this point in time, then it's just part of it.
They may want to sell us their ambulances. You never know.
Or just give them to us.
Well, you know, and of course, I hate to get on this soapbox, but it is called an ESD for a reason. It is Emergency Service District. Not fire, not police, not just EMS. It is Emergency Service District. But it is something, EMS is something that we have inherited because nobody else wanted to do it.
Right.
And it is something that we'll have to deal with from now on, I'm assuming. And that's fine, as long as this court knows that it's part of our job.
Right.
You know, and it's not going anywhere.
So have y'all ever talked to the ESDs about incorporating them in the EMS? I mean, we already got 2 of them in.
And
We got contracts to
well, you
staff
got
and housing.
contracts. You got contracts, but you don't have them in.
Right.
Because it is still Walker County, and Walker County will take care of their citizens as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
You know, and unless the ESDs want to stand up and take all of it, you know, and I doubt very seriously that's.
They're not gonna do that. They're too involved with the fire department.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Rachel, when you get ESD one up running and that station's out there and it's out there, you expect to have the same problems that you're having with communications or just people interactions, or is it gonna be perfect out there and there's not gonna be
I
any phone
can't
calls?
speak to how it's gonna be in the future. I do know that the communications we've had with them up until this point have been very open and honest. But I can't speak to what the future.
Well, there's always gonna be conflicts.
Sure it is.
And, you know, there's a right way to work them out and a wrong way to work them out. And I'm probably not the one to be working them out, but, but there is people.
That'd be all right too.
So
All I can say is live within the contract.
we talked the other day about TDC call volume going down. And I know Bill got numbers from you. All right, what's your thoughts on that? I know it was 792 versus,
Versus the 300, that was the guy's name, Richard, that's y'all talking?
Yeah, Richard Down.
Richard, he said 300, that's why I asked Chris.
y'all were 792, but the year before we were at like 1900.
I mean,
Do we,
for the full year?
yeah, for the full year, do we think that the volume's gonna go down?
I.
Do we see any results out of what
Yeah,
UTMB's telling us?
UTMB and TDC's operations. I mean, I can't predict that. They'll send physicians to work at Estelle, which is where our high call volume is, and some of them keep patients, other ones.
But you're not seeing the volume go down like what they're telling us?
No, I'm like TDC for us, from what I see, stays pretty steady. I mean, they'll go in spurts where you won't run as many calls for a couple of weeks, but then either you'll get different staffing or different physicians and that call volume will increase and spike again. If COVID runs through the prisons, our call volume is gonna spike. If, you know, during the summer, our call volume for them spikes because it's hot and they don't have AC. I mean, it's just kind of been ebb and flow. But I mean, we can't predict what they're gonna do.
They're gonna keep calling. is what they're
Oh,
gonna
yeah,
do.
yeah, absolutely.
I can predict
Yeah.
that for you.
Exactly. Rachel, how far south do y'all go?
How far south do we?
Yeah, yeah. Do y'all go? So while I got you here, I just figured I'd ask. Had to go to Houston here. Oh, it's been a month or so ago anyhow.
I mean,
There was an ambulance down there around maybe 242 somewhere around there.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, so
So-
we'll
Yeah, Clarence
transfer
got one.
patient to the Woodland,
Okay.
if they need a specialized hospital, they need a level comprehensive stroke center, or if their medical emergency is specific to a certain condition and they have a specialist, then we will go to the Woodland.
Okay.
We don't go past the.
Yeah, I didn't think so, but I was trying to remember exactly where I was at, and it was somewhere right around there, and I thought, well, it's one of them.
The Woodlands would require a call to myself or Chief Toman, and that would be something like Burns or
Yeah,
something very
something-
specific that would need to go downtown, but the patients are generally being flown.
Yeah.
Unless weather, prohibits that, and then maybe we might transport them if that's the best option, but I can't tell you the last time we've gone past the Woodlands, it's been years.
Thank you.
I got nothing.
I got it.
Yeah. Okay, thing?
I
Yeah,
got one thing, Ally, would you look, I'm 99% certain there's only one contract, there's no contract on that backup ambulance. That they're saying there is, I'd like to know.
Well, if that's the case, we need to drop the insurance on it.
Yeah, quit driving it.
I'm pretty sure it probably rolled.
I remember when it came in,
Fine.
I remember we did the exact.
I mean, we don't need an ambulance, we can't
okay, we'll pull
be under
contract.
contract with, so.
Yeah, public comments. Questions from media. Commissioners Court. We gotta wait for Terry to get back so we can adjourn.
Hurricane's supposed to be coming in, right?
Yeah.
What they say, in a couple hours. Get a little rain out of it anyhow.
Tired of out of my house, and my wife's going to generator again.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna take me 6 months to get her past that.
Oh, yeah.
Good luck on that one.
Yeah, especially if it's with 100 degrees, Bill.
Yeah.
They just have to
Don't worry,
plug
Bill,
it
my
up.
generator turned on at the house. I
I
got the generator.
I guess everybody got one, but
got a weld machine.
He's got a welding machine. I got a welding machine, but my sister takes it.
I cranked the one up on the camper.
I don't even got a camera.
Well, mine's a mobile kitchen. It's not a camper either. We gonna eat good though.
Yeah.
That's all that matters, ain't
Yeah.
nothing that matters.
I tell her,
How y'all ain't got no electricity over it, Bill?
tell her don't head at the casino. That's what always told me. The power's out and it's hot. I'm gonna go to Shreveport where it's cool. I'm like, no, don't do that.
Exactly. Come back when electricity's on. I know I talked to some people out of Louisiana and they was wanting to come here, but thing went the other way.
Yeah.
So it's just my street, so they should be able to take care of that.
Yeah, right.
Take-
Hey, the winds hadn't got here yet. What time they coming in?
Need any more help? I don't need no help.
I got a spare room with an air conditioner, but it's only $100 a minute.
Real neighborly.
I'm a good neighbor.
Deborah could come over and stay though,
Yeah.
sure.
Oh,
I don't know
yeah.
about Bill.
Yeah. Hey, we'll let your wife in.
Holy crap, I tell you what, about a third of the town is out. I gotta get up here to Huntsville. Nope, evidently it's just mine.
Just you,
At 190 and then my little street.
There's usually 26 goes out with us over, that's on that leg that we're on. And we're the last ones to come on in the county.
y'all on energy, Bill?
Yeah. Well, we're on the line that feeds the sewer plant,
Yeah,
so they can get ours up pretty quick.
yeah.
You playing?
It's almost as good as being on the hospital
We
line.
just lucked out on that.
Sounds like inside
How you-
the city.
See, now
Yeah,
I'm not in.
Yeah. I know Bruce said y'all was out for a while.
Oh, yeah, when we go out, we're out.
Yeah.
No, well, I'm not.
Yeah,
but they are.
they are.